Thank you for joining me for another episode of Mould Breaker Empowerment Forum. Can you believe it? We are now on the other side of Valentine, and we are at week number 7 of our journey to living free in 2023. And today, it's ironic that we're talking about the power of expectations. I'm wondering how many of you had your expectations dashed as a result of that special global day that we call Valentine's Day. Well, we must do something about that because expectations can truly destroy the quality of your life if you do not take the controls. So, what exactly are expectations? Well, I guess everyone would say, well, I know what expectations is. And actually everyone do because we all have expectations. Expectations are simply those desires, wants, wishes that we believe helps to make our daily journey enjoyable. However, they are not always reasonable. They are not always expressed. And that is what gives expectations power over our lives. You see, when we have expectations, it is often an unspoken desire, and that is what makes expectations so powerful because it is linked to assumptions, it's linked to social norms, it's linked to role and I guess identity as it relates to interrelating with others, whether it's in our families, whether it's on our job, whether it's within our social circles. We have expectations. And expectations come from social norms. We have attached roles where it is expected that as a mother, you ought to do X, Y, Z. As a boyfriend or husband, you're expected to do X, Y, Z. And those X, Y, and Z's are different for the mother than they are for the boyfriend or the husband. And we know that expectations are two ways. If you are in a relationship with your children, as a mother or father, you expect your children to do certain things. And as a spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, you expect certain things from the other person. If you're in the job situation, of course, you're expected to perform. And whilst there are what they would call roles and functions that you are expected, hear the word, expected, required to fulfill, they are clearly stated when it comes to the job. Now, when it comes to relationship, that's another story because we assume that the other person should know, they ought to know. Well, of course, sometimes we do express our expectations, our desires, but oftentimes, as soon as the individual falls down or forgets to do whatever it is that is required, expected, wished of them, then there is a problem. So, how do we deal with expectations? If we want our relationships on the job, in the home, in our social circles to work, and for us to experience the level of comfort that comes from fulfilled desires, then the first thing that we must learn to do is to express that which we desire, which we require, which we wish for. Because if they are not expressed, then we are placing the power of our happiness in the hands of somebody who is clueless. Yes, they're not stupid, they're not dumb, they are just clueless. Why are they clueless? Because they are not mind readers. And so, if you're talking about freedom, you're talking about enjoying your life, you must help those with whom you interact to know what it is that you desire, what it is that you wish, what it is that you expect. Because if it's not stated, then you're likely to find yourself frustrated because nobody can read your mind. Now, the other thing that gives expectations power is unrealistic expectations. How could you expect someone to do something that they lack the knowledge of how to do it, or they lack the resources in being able to do it? And when I speak of resources, I talk about finances, I talk about material and supplies, I talk about thought processes, and even interest. Oftentimes, we're in relationships. Let's go on the personal level. And because something is happening in your friend's relationship with her partner or his partner, you expect that your partner will provide the same thing for you. Maybe you even expect them to provide the things that you desire. But as I said, even your parents who grew you up, your siblings who walked your life journey with you, don't know from one day to the other what your expectations are because they do not read mind. Yes, they may observe your pattern, they may observe your preferences, but even they change. Those patterns and preferences change from one day to the next because we are of that nature. We are just simply changing, evolving beings. So therefore, if you want to keep the power in your hands, then you must communicate. You must express your desires, for only in expressing will somebody else know. Other than that, we also must realize that no one is responsible for your happiness, and that is one of the biggest errors, ERRORS, that individuals make. We place the responsibility for our happiness in someone else's hands. That is a serious, serious indictment on you. Never expect anyone to make you happy. Expectations, the power of expectation, is most pronounced, it is most powerful, because nobody truly knows how you are feeling from one moment to the next unless you say so. And you know, we can have a smile on our face, but we're boiling up on the inside. Someone doesn't do what we expect them to do, and again, instead of declaring and making it known to the individual, we get all puffed up, stuffed up, angry, mad, raging, and the individual is clueless. So tell me now, who does this expectation and the reactions to the unfulfilled expectation affect? Nobody but you. So, what is the power of expectation? It is your inability or your unwillingness or your pure assumption that somebody should know. I am here to tell you right now, don't expect anyone to know or do anything that pleases you unless you make it known. Other than that, you are simply shooting yourself in the foot. You're disarming yourself, you're disabling yourself, you are making yourself most miserable and therefore most undesirable. And when you do that, what happens? Bushcrack, man gone, woman gone. They're going to look for somebody else who is able to express themselves. They may leave the job. Somebody who works well, works hard, well organized, but because the expectations are not vocalized, because they are not made known, you lose out. Expectations are powerful but destructive tools. They are weapons of mass destruction. So if you really want to have a fulfilling life that is free, that is enjoyable, you must do something. You must firstly take the time to know what the individual is capable of doing, first and foremost. Because if you expect someone to do something that they are not able to do, again, pop, one bullet in the foot. One bullet in the foot. Next, you must ask or request or state what it is that you desire. Don't expect anyone to know, because they do not know. Some things people will know about you after a while of interacting with you or living with you or sharing with you or simply have an interest in satisfying and making you happy. But they, again, will have to ask you. So you must be able to know yourself what it is that you desire, what it is that you wish, what it is that you want, and make it known. And then, again, the skills. The individual must have the skill that is required to fulfill your expectation, be it communication skills, be it handy skills on how to do what it is that you want to be done. Okay? So it requires all of these considerations. And then finally, accept the limitations of others. Don't expect of others something that they are not capable of doing. That's why it requires knowing, taking the time to know the individual and exercise patience and tolerance and understanding. Otherwise, you are going to be most miserable. Okay? So if you're looking for peace and contentment, if you're looking for a sense of freedom, if you're looking for a sense of well-being, don't expect without communicating. Don't expect without understanding. Don't expect without being patient. Every individual come with their limited resources, be it conversation, be it ability to do or perform. But above all, the ability to love comes when we expect only to give our best, and then the best of others will be returned to you. So I hope that this segment has helped you to understand how you can improve your journey to freedom, to living free in 2023 by getting rid of expectations. Have desires, have wishes, have wants, requirements, but make them known, and you will get the benefit of a beautiful journey through 2023. Thank you for joining me once again on Mold Breaker Empowerment Forum. I am your Mold Breaker Doc, Audrey Mellayne, saying join me again right here next week when we will look a little closer at breaking through barriers to experiencing the health and well-being that you desire. After all, you deserve to be happy. Have a wonderful day. God bless.